We're talking about a Canadian law that's resulting in stateless children being born to Canadian parents overseas. We're now joined by Sujit Choudhry, who's representing the families of these children who are challenging the law, and by Patrick Chandler, another parent of these children being impacted by the law who's also involved in the challenge. Thank you both for joining us. Patrick, in the last segment, we talked to Emma, who has had a child born in Hong Kong, is now stateless as a result of the Canadian law. And you have a similar but slightly different story. So like Emma's, your child was born stateless. So what can you tell me about the circumstances that led up to that?
Thanks, Christine. There's circumstances that really should have never come about, to be quite frank. My daughter was born in 2009 in China. I had originally gone to China in 2008. My daughter was born in 2009, just after Bill C-37 came into effect in April. My daughter was born in June. And I said, okay, great. I'm going to go to the Canadian Embassy in Beijing, and we're going to get her a passport and citizenship and all that fun stuff that you need so that your kid can travel with you and, go back to Canada and things like that. And I had all the paperwork in place. I got to the embassy. The receptionist or the clerk rather was basically stamping the papers with the official sort of seal of approval with me standing there. And then at the very last moment, she said, "Oh, wait, hang on a second. Your child was born in Beijing and you weren't born in Canada yourself. Your child can't get citizenship." And I was stunned. I had absolutely no idea that this was a thing, that this could even have ever been a thing. But that's essentially how it came about.
So even though you had spent most of your life in Canada, this is what the impact has been for your child. And that was a new law when that happened to your child. So G, what can you tell me about the background leading up to why that law was enacted and what the law was before?
Sure. So, all countries with high rates of immigration have policies or rules around transmitting citizenship abroad across more than one generation, and Canada's no different. So, for until this law, what was in place in Canada was something called a substantial connection requirement. So to give the viewers a bit of background, so Emma Kenyon was born in Japan to her parents, and Patrick was born in Tripoli, Libya, to his parents. And they both came home as small children with their parents back to Canada and grew up here. And under the old law, if individuals like Patrick or Emma had spent a sufficient amount of time in Canada, that they established a substantial connection to Canada, they would then have the right to pass on citizenship abroad to their own children. And that's how the law works right now in Australia, in the UK, in the US. But in 2008, our Citizenship Act was amended to remove the substantial connection test. And so no matter what Patrick or Emma did, no matter how long they lived in Canada, no matter how committed they were to Canada, they could never remove this impairment on their citizenship and couldn't transmit citizenship to their children abroad.
So under the old law, it sounds like they would have been able to pass on their citizenship, and this changed for them. So Patrick, I want to ask you, what were your concerns when you found out that your child would be born stateless?
Well, I didn't even really, coming out of the embassy that day, because that was really the first time when I found out. I mean, my mind was blank. Like, I didn't even know what to think. Like, I was just in so much shock. Like, I was like, well, there's got to be some sort of a solution here. I'll go to the embassy another day and I'll talk to someone there. So, like, that's what I was thinking. But then when I realized that wasn't an option, that they were, that citizenship wasn't going to be coming from Canada, I started getting really, 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 really nervous, really, really scared, to be quite frank. How was I ever going to get my child on an airplane? If you don't have citizenship, well, where are you getting a passport from? How can you travel? Where do you get these documents? Is my child ever going to be able to go to Canada or travel the world? What do I do here next? I was quite young at the time. I was in my early 20s and a new father. So you can imagine that something like this is really just, it's not really something that anyone should have to go
Sounds
through.
terrifying. It sounds terrifying. Absolutely.